Members of the jury, my name is Colin White, and I am here to represent Mary Peabody in this court case. On April 17th, 2015, Mary Peabody, a student at Essexville Elementary School, brought with her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, potato chips, a banana, and a Capri Sun for lunch. However, before Mary could enjoy her lunch, they were stolen and eaten, leaving a few crumbs and a banana peel. It was the defendant's job, Virgil Goodman's job, to bring the lunch boxes from the classroom to the cafeteria. Later on, Virgil was found giggling with his friend Joseph, though they wouldn't tell why. As a punishment, they were both punished by writing their names on the blackboard 20 times. Today, you will hear from Miss Mary Peabody, who will testify on how Virgil was the last person with her lunch. She will also testify to his guilty and non-remorseful behavior after the thievery was committed. You will also hear from Mr. Laughlin, who will confirm Mary's testimony while describing the large amount of time it took for Virgil to make a simple trip. Additionally, he will testify to the fact that the empty Capri Sun carton was found in the trash can in the boys' bathroom near the cafeteria. We are seeking $20 in compensation for the stolen goods, as well as a soda pop from the local convenience store. We are also looking for all attorney fees to be paid. It is your job to serve justice for the greater good by convicting Virgil, so acts like these are prevented and punishments are served to those who deserve it. Thank you.
Members of the jury, I am here to represent the defendant Virgil Goodman in the proceedings today. My client has been wrongfully accused of stealing and eating Mary Peabody's lunch. However, we will prove that he is not liable for this act. On April 17, 2015, my client Virgil Goodman was a student at Essexville Elementary School in Mr. Lee Lawlins' third grade class. That day, he was tasked with bringing his class's lunch boxes to the cafeteria, where the entire first and second grade had access to it. Virgil did what he was told and then returned straight back to his classroom, where he began joking around with his close friend Joseph. He did not eat or take any of Mary Peabody's lunch. In fact, Joseph shared his own sandwich with Virgil because of how hungry he was at lunch. Today, we will hear from Virgil Goodman, who will testify that he moved his classmates' lunch boxes to the cafeteria and went straight back to his classroom without taking and eating food from anybody, including Mary Peabody. You will also hear from Joseph Cool, Virgil's friend. He will also testify what happened at lunch on the day of the incident and why there is not enough evidence to prove that Virgil Goodman did not steal Mary Peabody's lunch. The plaintiffs are going to try to convince you that Virgil heinously stole Mary's lunch. However, Virgil simply did his job before enjoying his own peanut butter sandwich that he brought to school. The plaintiffs must have preponderance of the evidence. However, they will fail to meet this burden, as my client, Virgil Goodman, is not liable. It is your job as the jury to recognize the fact that Virgil Goodman is not liable for stealing Mary Peabody's lunchbox and eating her lunch. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Can you please state your name for the record?
Mary Peabody.
Where were you on April 17th, 2015, during the time of the incident?
I was in Essexville Elementary in a third grade classroom.
What happened on the day in question?
I had come to school with my lunchbox, which had a peanut butter sandwich, a banana, a Capri Sun punch drink, and potato chips in it. However, when I went to lunch with my class that day and opened my lunchbox, there was only some crumbs and a banana peel in it.
Who did you last see with this box?
I saw Virgil Goodman with my lunchbox when Mr. Lawlin told him to take it from the classroom to the cafeteria.
Did you see anyone accompanying him in this little trip?
No, he was alone.
Do you know how long it took for him to make this trip?
I don't know exactly how long it took, but it took an awful long time that day.
What happened right after Virgil came back from class?
I saw that Virgil and his friend Joseph were giggling about something.
Do you know what they were giggling about?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You witnessed anyone take food out of your lunchbox, right?
No.
All of your lunch was gone when you opened your lunchbox for lunch, correct?
Yes.
And is it true that you did not actually hear what Virgil and Joseph were laughing about?
No, but they were punished and Mr. Lawlin made them write sentences 20 times on the board about not giggling in class.
So you don't actually know for sure if it was about your lunch?
No.
And isn't it true that while your friend saw peanut butter on his face, it could have been after lunch where he had his own sandwich?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Lee Lawlin.
What is your occupation, Essexville Elementary?
I'm a third grade teacher. Mary Peabody, Joseph Cool, and Virgil Goodman were all my students in class.
Where were you when the incident occurred?
I was still in the classroom.
What do you do with the lunch boxes before lunch?
The student will put all of the lunch boxes into a basket and bring them down to the cafeteria where they will eat.
On the day of the incident, who did you give this job to?
I gave it to Virgil Goodman. It normally takes around 5 minutes to do this. However, I remember it took longer than normal.
If Virgil Goodman had this job, would this mean he would be last seen with Mary's lunchbox?
Yes, he would.
What happened when Virgil returned to the classroom?
Virgil and Joseph were acting up and couldn't stop laughing. They refused to tell me what they were laughing about when I asked, but I think it had to do something with Virgil's trip to the lunchroom.
And then what happened?
Later on, the maintenance man, Harry Hart, brought me an empty Capri Sun carton, which he found in the trash can in the boys' bathroom.
Thank you, Wander. No further questions.
Student, correct?
Yes, but he and Joseph always seem to be getting into trouble.
There are stairs to get down to the cafeteria as well as an elevator, right?
Yes?
So is it possible that Virgil could have taken the stairs to get to the cafeteria?
I suppose so. I don't know why he would, because the elevator would be faster.
Other students in the first and second grade had access to the cafeteria with the lunch boxes, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But the maintenance man brought you an empty Capri Sun carton, right?
Yes?
But there is a possibility that a lot of students could have had that in their lunch, right?
Of course.
Thank you, no further questions. Good morning, can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Virgil Goodman.
Whose class are you in?
I'm in Mr. Lawland's class at Essexville Elementary School.
What did you do right before lunch?
Mr. Lawland asked me to bring the basket of lunch boxes to the cafeteria. So I did that and went straight back to the classroom.
And what happened after that?
Me and my buddy, Joseph Cool, were joking around and giggling. I don't remember exactly what we were giggling about, but I do know that Joseph sometimes likes to pull funny faces, and I can't help but laugh at that.
What did you have for lunch on the day of the incident in question?
A peanut butter sandwich and some other stuff that I can't remember.
What did you do after you ate your sandwich?
I was really hungry, and Joseph was kind enough to share some of his with mine.
Where were the lunch boxes after you moved to them?
They were in the cafeteria.
Thank you, no further questions.
At Essexville Elementary School, am I correct?
Yes.
I'd say as a student, you would know the layouts of the school like the back of your hand, correct?
I've only been there for 3 years, but yes.
On the day of the incident, Mr. Laughlin asked you to bring the lunches to the cafeteria, correct?
Yes.
And it took you longer than usual to bring the lunches.
Yes.
When you got back to the classroom, you were caught laughing with Joseph, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And you claim you do not remember what you were laughing about. Is this true? You also stated in your testimony that Mary is always trying to get you in trouble. Yes or no?
Yes, that is correct.
So do you not get along with Mary?
I suppose you can say so.
No further questions.
Hello, can you please state your name for the record?
Joseph Cool,
Whose class are you in?
Mr. Lawrence at Essexville Elementary.
Where were you when Virgil was moving the lunch boxes to the cafeteria on April 17th, 2015?
I was still in Mr. Lawrence's classroom.
What happened when he came back from moving the lunch boxes?
He came and sat next to me and we started goofing off.
What were you laughing about?
I don't remember, but sometimes I like to pull funny faces to make Virgil laugh. It could have been that.
And what happened after that?
Well, we got into trouble with Mr. Lawland.
What did you have for lunch that on the day of the incident?
I had a sandwich. I don't remember what kind, but I do remember that I shared some with Virgil because he was still hungry even after eating all of his lunch. With how hungry he was, he couldn't have eaten Mary's lunch.
Thank you, no further questions.
Cross-examination, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
All right, Joseph. You are good friends with Virgil Goodman, right?
Yes.
Good friends would do anything for each other. Am I correct?
Yes, but I wouldn't lie for him. I wouldn't steal. If he committed a crime, I would not cover up for him.
Okay. On the day of the incident, you remember Virgil eating a peanut butter sandwich, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And in your testimony, you say that Virgil was very hungry that day, so much so that he ate some of your sandwich. Am I right? And when Virgil came back to your class, you two giggled about a topic you both coincidentally don't remember. Am I mistaken?
No, you are not mistaken.
And when you went to both of your testimonies, you both said that you both think you laughed about making funny faces. Am I correct?
Yes, because we do it quite often.
Thank you. No further questions. You are here today to convict Virgil for committing an act that should not be left unpunished, viciously stealing Mary Peabody's lunch. Testimonies from both Mary Peabody and Mr. Laughlin shared their testimonies on how Virgil Goodman was last seen with the lunchboxes, and it took him longer than usual to deliver these lunchboxes to the cafeteria. They also confirmed that Virgil and his friend, Joseph, were caught giggling for an unknown reason moments after the trip. It is also worth noting that a Capri Sun, much like the one in Mary's lunchbox, was found in the boys' bathroom, something that Virgil could have done. It is also clear that Virgil does not like Mary, which could give him a motivation to steal her lunch. Joseph is Virgil's best friend, meaning that he would do pretty much anything to protect him, including giving a biased testimony. It is clear that we have a preponderance of the evidence, meaning that we have more than 50% of evidence in our favor. Now it is up to you to find Virgil liable and ensure Mary is compensated. Thank you for your time.
Closing statement, Your Honor. Members of the jury, you are here today to decide whether Virgil Goodman is liable for stealing Mary Peabody's lunch or not. The plaintiffs are going to try to convince you that he did steal the lunch, when in fact he did not. Mary Peabody's testimony is biased against Virgil, since she just wants someone to blame. Mary did not actually witness her lunch get stolen, and it could have been any one of the first or second graders who were left with the lunch boxes. The plaintiff's side does not meet the burden of proof in this case, as they do not have 50% of the evidence in their favor. Virgil Goodman did what he was told from Mr. Laughlin and took the class's lunch boxes down to the cafeteria and came right back up to the classroom without stealing anybody's lunch. Joseph Poole also shared some of his lunch with Virgil because Virgil was still extremely hungry, so he couldn't have eaten anything right before lunch. You must ensure that the innocent student, Virgil Goodman, is not liable for stealing Mary Peabody's lunch. Thank you.